So after all that madness in Saudi Arabia, we are back in the good old US of A for this next pay-per-view. It's AEW's Full Gear. So it's kind of an interesting little title here. I'm not kind of quite sure where the inspiration for the name itself came up with, but this was announced during All Out, and it's going to be taking place this Saturday, November 9th. This is the first sort of All Elite Wrestling pay-per-view post Dynamite premiering, post Dynamite. So yeah, this should be pretty interesting to see how it goes. Now that they've had some time to build up some stars and maybe get some stories going a little bit here and there. Yeah. I'm Coffee Lover 239, and joining me back in the hot seat is Heathy. Welcome back, man.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's good to be back, especially with a card that's looking quite intriguing, such as Full Gear.
It sure is, even though there's only about 6 matches, counting the pre-show, but we've got some good stuff coming, and some things we were originally supposed to get, actually, but we'll get to those when we get to those. So without further ado, let's get on with it. Our first match is Jon Moxley versus Kenny Omega in a non-sanctioned match, or rather, lights out match as they sometimes refer to it here. So at the conclusion of Double or Nothing, Jon Moxley appeared from the crowd and attacked both Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega. The latter fought back and brawled on the entrance stage, where Moxley put Omega through the stage with a standing fireman's carry takeover. Oh, if a giant stack of poker chips. Anyways, a match between Omega and Moxley was then scheduled for All Out. However, the match was cancelled due to Moxley suffering an elbow injury. On September 4th, their match was rescheduled for Full Gear. On the October 9th episode of Dynamite, at the end of Jon Moxley's match against Shawn Spears, Kenny Omega arrived on the entrance ramp with a broom and a baseball bat, both wrapped in barbed wire. Omega then threw the bat towards Moxley, but Pac blindsided Omega with a steel chair because, well, I guess still unfinished business, or really not, considering Pac won at All Out. Yeah. Anyways, unwilling to attack an unconscious Kenny Omega and wanting a fair fight, Moxley dropped the bat and walked backstage. On the October 16th episode of Dynamite, during a tag team match with Pac against Omega and Adam Page, Moxley turned on Pac after an argument, handing Pac his first loss in AEW. On the October 30th episode of Dynamite, it was announced that the Moxley-Omega match would be a non-sanctioned match. So yeah, we were supposed to get this at All Out, but we are getting it now, and it is better late than never, I suppose. Both men definitely have done some very great stuff over the years, and now we have Moxley in his true form against Omega at the best he can be, and no rules to boot, so yeah, there actually will be a damn winner, so this should be a pretty hard-hitting match, hopefully. Heathy, who do you think's gonna win?
I think it's overwhelmingly in favour of one person, that's Jon Moxley. Let me explain why. So we've had this unsanctioned stipulation added to the match. So Moxley is, he can be liberated into committing attempted murder whenever he wants to in the match. So of course it favours Moxley. The winner, I believe, should be entering the world title scene. These are two high-profile, high in the card superstars. So a winner would, I would say, catapult them into the main event scene, or at least into a number one contenders match. It's been built up really well, so the entertainment aspect is pretty high up. They've been doing this sort of angle with Omega where, he's not doing well on the win-loss column, and it's going to send him over the deep edge, as it's sort of been doing so in the last few weeks. I think because this is an unsanctioned match and the win-loss record will not be affected after the pinfall, submission, or whatever ending to this match has been heavily announced, just so everyone knows about this. I think Omega can afford to lose. I think that Moxley winning can also set up a rematch between the two down the line, just in a normal sanctioned match, maybe an Extreme Rules match, I don't know, but a match where it actually affects the win-loss counter and Omega can get a win. So I think Jon Moxley wins, and then Omega can argue that Moxley can't beat him in a normal match or something like that. So I'm going to go with Moxley to win.
Looking at this card, though, yeah, or this match here, honestly, I'm not sure too much. Like I said, it could honestly go either way, but Moxley, on the other hand, really does have the hot streak going on as of late, while Omega has been floundering. If Moxley were to win, it could potentially further Kenny's sort of, I suppose, downward and eventual possible heel turn that I think it's been teased a little bit, at least somewhat. But on the other hand, yeah, this could definitely launch whoever wins into the title picture. I don't know if they really want to rush any of the elite guys in just yet, even though they're practically like the ones still like the executive vice presidents. So yeah, they could, but it's probably not wise to do so anyways. Yeah, it's better if Moxley wins, and hopefully he might get a pretty good championship match. Oh, speaking of championship gold, our next match is Chris Jericho versus Cody for the AEW World Championship. So at All Out, Chris Jericho defeated Adam Page to become the inaugural AEW World Champion, while on the other card, Cody defeated Shawn Spears to improve his singles match win-loss-draw record to 2-0-1. Due to Cody's singles match record, he was granted an AEW World Championship match against Chris Jericho at Full Gear. So yeah, this is really trying to... The way they've set it up obviously helps with the stats, you know? I mean, our stats we've got going here, I mean, even though it's only 2 wins, but still, it is kind of an important ordeal. And looking back, I guess if you wanted to attract in maybe lapsed fans, I suppose Jericho could have been recognized enough for having him win the title, but still though, now looking at this match here, like I said, you could just shoot the elite guys right in here early on, but then again, who knows? This is like the first time they're facing off in an AEW ring, at least in a championship match. You could give him it, but then again, it'd probably be a bit too early at times. And who knows? Jericho and Omega still probably got some unfinished business, so you never really know. Who do you think's gonna win?
This is a solid main event for the pay-per-view. It should end up being a really good match. What we haven't addressed here is there was an announcement a week or 2 ago that AEW will be bringing in 3 judges. I'm not too sure who they are. Maybe it's a commission or maybe it's some legends of the business. And it will be a 60-minute time limit added to this match. And if we do reach that time limit and it goes to like a draw in normal circumstances, in this match, it goes to the judges. Almost like a bit of a UFC decision. If you go 5 rounds and you have to go wait to see the judges' scorecard, it'll be a bit like that situation. I believe this match will be going on for quite some time. I see it go into the 45-minute mark. I don't think the judges will come into effect. I think it will just be a case of being there for the added aura to the match. Yeah, it won't go to judges' decision. Who I think is going to win? I don't know. I don't think there's really no reason for Cody to dethrone Jericho now. Jericho's really getting into the swing of things. You know, he has this habit of turning anything mediocre into something that's one of the best in the company. You've got a little bit of bubbly. You've got Let in the Circle. I bought a ticket. You know, all these good phrases and all these good mannerisms to Jericho, and these added wrinkles to his character really sets him apart from the rest. So I don't think it's time for him to lose right now. So I think maybe a full circle interference. I'm not sure if that would actually matter. I think Jericho is being built up so well. He could afford to lose. He could afford to win clean here. So, but either way, I'm going to go with Jericho to beat Cody.
Yeah, looking at this match and that announcement, it makes me think if it really is going to be the placement fully, if they're actually going to go the full hour. Like, I kind of doubt they're going to go the full hour, but really, anything is possible. And yeah, it is too early. Like, then again, they want to make Cody's win like a big deal probably, and it really is only built off the stats of this story, so there's really not much of it in there, but I don't think that should stop this from being a good match. With that said, yeah, it's probably better if Jericho gets it. I'm pretty sure whoever dethrones him, it's going to be a big deal. Like, then you kind of get someone really fully established, perhaps. or even more fully established, depending on who dethrones him. But yeah, Jericho to retain. And our next match is the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, versus Proud and Powerful, Santana and Ortiz. So at All Out, Santana and Ortiz debuted for AEW and attacked the Young Bucks following the latter's match. During the debut episode of Dynamite on October 2nd, Santana and Ortiz teamed with Chris Jericho and defeated the Elite, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. Santana and Ortiz would go on and join Jericho's faction, the Inner Circle, and challenge the Young Bucks to a match at Full Gear that the Bucks accepted. So a pretty simple one, really, but at the same time, it'll be nice to have Santana and Ortiz actually have a pay-per-view match and really give some other fans who might not have watched them when they were in Impact, such as myself, a more chance of what they were capable of doing. Of course, Santana and Ortiz, formerly a part of LAX, but now going under the name Proud and Powerful. And yeah, they spent so good, decent while. Well, actually, it was only really a couple years with Impact, but here at least, it'll be nice to see really what they do. Because they've only, I think, had like one match on TV, and it was only really like a squash of sorts. But here, they're going up against an established team in the Bucks. So definitely should be some exciting stuff. Heathy, who do you think's gonna win?
I'm happy that LAX are finally getting their debut pay-per-view match against the Young Bucks. It really sets them out as a team to watch for the future and potential future AEW World Tag Team Champions. There could be a different alternative sort of dynamic here. You could have added Jake Hager and Sammy Guevara and made it sort of like a six-man tag between the Inner Circle and the Elite. But I'm happy they're going with this simple tag match at first. It was set up at the last pay-per-view, and it's something really could stand out as one of the matches of the night. I think it'll be smart if Proud and Powerful were to win their first pay-per-view match, especially if it was over an established name like the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks, well, I believe it's just written in the stars they'll be future tag team champions in AEW. I just feel like, it's, in order to get to the top, you got to raise the bar and get some other future World Tag Team Champions on the map and make them real juggernauts to the division. So SU is just not only looking at one tag team, but a multitude when they're going into their first few title defenses. So I think that in the future, we're going to see the Inner Circle versus the Elite. These two tag teams will be addition of Hager and Guevara on their respective teams. But for now, I think it's going to be LAX, not LAX. I mean, it's easy to say, but
yeah, Proud and Powerful.
Yeah, I'm going to go with them, Proud and Powerful. I think they're going to beat the Young Bucks.
Unfortunately, Impact still owns the LAX name, but if this next deal doesn't take off for them, I don't know if they may even collab with AEW and potentially have them reunite with... I don't even know if the stable is still going, to be honest, because I don't follow Impact. I know, shocker, but no, it actually seems like that might be it. The future of the stable is in question. But back to here. Yeah, I mean, the Bucks, they're still over as hell, but at the same time, we've got to get, Santana and Ortiz. I think looking at this, they really want to establish the Inner Circle as a dominant force even furthermore. I mean, with Chris Jericho successfully retaining, and to have Santana and Ortiz go here, I think, yeah, they should be the ones who win, because it would undermine the Circle if they were to lose, same with Jericho. So, yeah, I'll go with Proud and Powerful to win. And our next match is Adam Page versus Pac. So, at Double or Nothing, Adam Page was scheduled to face Pac, but due to creative differences with Dragon Gate, a promotion that Pac also wrestled for and was the reigning champion, the Open the Dream Gate champion at the time, their match was canceled. They had it on the indies a little bit before Double or Nothing, and yeah. So after settling those creative differences, and by settling differences, I mean Pac losing the title legitimately in Dragon Gate, Pac had his AEW debut match at All Out, shockingly defeating Kenny Omega by making him pass out to the Brutalizer. Following the show, during Page's post-interview event, he was interrupted by Pac, who said that he'd returned to AEW to get revenge on Page. Almost said Pac there, getting revenge on himself. Oops. Anyways, a match between the two was then scheduled for the debut episode of Dynamite on October 2nd, which Pac won. Page then teamed with Omega and defeated the team of Pac and Jon Moxley on the October 16th episode. And now another match between them has been scheduled for Full Gear. So yes, we're finally going to get them fully one-on-one in an AEW ring. Now, like I said, this match was done in some kind of indie show a little bit shortly before Double or Nothing, because of a whole creative difference thing. But now that's worked out, so we're able to have it. I guess you could technically say they're kind of one-on-one, but at the same time, it's different, because Pac won a singles match. Meanwhile, Page won the was like the winning on the winning side of the tag team match against Pac. So, kind of, sort of, but not really. I mean, seeing these two one-on-one should definitely be interesting. Again, this time at least fully on pay-per-view, where they'll be given more time to do more of what they're capable of. And yeah, who do you think's gonna win?
I mean, you could say this is just Pac's redemption, a chance to get his own back on Page. You beat Pac on October 16th in a tag match, pinned him, but a fortnight earlier it was Pac who beat Page on the debut episode of Dynamite, so this is definitely a rubber match. Obviously there was different circumstances in how each man got their victory, but it's 1-1 and there was a pinfall between one on the other in each match. So I don't know. I think since Pac won their last match and Page just being not on a downward slope, so to say, but not reaching the heights that he was, like with that momentum that he had going into that match with Jericho for the inaugural title shot. I think maybe you need to get a bit more momentum on Page here. I don't want Pac losing again. I feel like that could be a detriment to his case. It could go either way. I don't want Pac to lose, but I think it's a case of my heart says Pac, but I always go with my head in these situations, and my head goes with Page, so I'm going to go with Page to beat Pac.
Yeah, Page himself is kind of had a little bit of a slump, ever since losing to Jericho. Not quite a full slump, but not exactly a full ride either. This match could be used to potentially launch him back up and get some momentum, but on the other hand, Pac himself has been taking a little bit of a hit with some of this stuff, so it's kind of tough either way. Whoever goes on, whoever wins will probably fully will probably fully move further up the card. On the other hand, the other person might not. Yeah, I think it'd probably be better for Hangman Page to go here in this one. There might not even be a full clean win, though, so there could be maybe some shenanigans. But you never know, really. You never know. But for now, I'm going to go with Adam Page. Our next match is Priestley versus Britt Baker. Now, this is a little bit of a problem because there's no background information for this me to actually go off of. There is, a YouTube link here for AEW Dark Episode 5, Charleston, West Virginia, so there's probably something that happened on there, but I don't watch AEW, AEW Dark because, I've already got enough as is. To tell you the truth, I may have to drop Raw soon, but that might free me up with some time to watch it. I don't know, I'm still thinking. It's so exhausting keeping up with this so much, but I have no idea what's going on or how that match came to be. Sorry guys, but yeah, there's nothing here listed on Wikipedia. Healy, do you have any idea with how it came to be?
Here's one thing. I think it's just a case of Priestley being in a thorn in the side of Britt Baker. I know they had that tag match on the 10th of October. I think it was Baker and Ali versus Priestley and Ford, and Priestley was constantly just getting under the skin of Britt Baker. We saw Britt Baker have a good showing against Jamie Hayter. The match where everyone thought was going to be just a lopsided squash match, but it was a pretty good match between the two, very competitive. I think there's a lot of stock in Britt Baker right now. Definitely earmarked as a future AEW Women's World Champion. But yeah, this doesn't pre-show. It's not really much to. I mean, there's these two are feuding. There's a rivalry in this, but it's not been given so much attention that it warrants a spot on the main show. It's just a bit of consistency on the card. It's on the pre-show. Get the crowd excited. Yeah, I think this is something. I think it's a one and done thing unless they build up to the main card of the next pay-per-view, which I don't think they would. So I'm just gonna go with babyface victory to get the crowd going. I'm gonna go with Baker to win.
Yeah, this kind of does seem like a filler match, but we need warm-up in there. Sometimes you gotta have it. Doesn't necessarily mean it has to be bad, per se. I'm sure it'll be decent enough, at least. Yeah, Britt Baker to win. I really don't have much else to say about this match. And our last match is also a women's match. It's Rhea versus Emmie Sakura for the AEW Women's World Championship. So this match was announced actually at about 10:05 my time on Twitter as of today's recording on November 6, 2019. There's really not much to go off of, and this just seems to be an obligatory title defense. That said, we've got the Joshi, two Japanese women, or wrestling, or Joshi, I believe, yeah, is the term, and this should be a good match. We've definitely seen what Rhea can do with her winning the belt. Could have seen a little bit more of Sakura, but still decent. Still no story, by the way, to go off of, but yeah, Healy, who do you think's gonna win?
While I do agree that this is a bit of a thrown together matchup, I mean, as we're recording this, it was announced a few hours ago, and we're doing this on a Wednesday afternoon. All I can think of is back around about a decade ago, because I know Rhea was only like in her early 20s when she was around 10 years old. Yeah, I think she began training when she was 10, and she was trained by Emmie Sakura at Emmie's Ice Ribbon dojo. So it's got this very nice feel of teacher versus student. Going to be a lot of rehearsals, a lot of jostling for position, feeling each other out, seeing how much has Rhea learned since her days training in Ice Ribbon dojo before she began her teenage years. So I don't think there's going to be a title change. I think it's going to be the case of Emmie coming in just to gauge what Rhea is learning as the champion. I mean, it's going to be very respectful, I believe. It's going to be one of the things where Sakura realizes that Rhea has grown leaps and bounds since her training days back at Ice Ribbon. Yeah, I mean, maybe if they announced this a week or two ago, there'd be a bit of a competitive argument for a new champion being crowned, but surely not this early. I think it's going to be Rhea, the student, beating Sakura, the teacher.
Yeah, it would make sense, really. There's no need for a title change this early on, especially considering this match was thrown almost last minute, but we're about 3 days away from the pay-per-view, so yeah. I'm just gonna go with Rhea as well. I really don't... Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Rhea. I really don't see the need for the title to change hands here. And there you go. After clearing, this should be a nice palate cleanser after the madness we've been dealing with, and oh boy, it should still be good. I mean, not exactly a big card or anything, and not too much detail for some of these matches, but they should still deliver nonetheless. And I am very well looking forward to still seeing this. Hoping for the best for this pay-per-view, and yeah, that's really it to it. I want to thank Healy for being here with me and welcoming back. It was good to have you back.
No problem. Thanks for having me. I'll see you guys next time.
And we'll see you next time for, actually not just Survivor Series. Oh, no. We've got to step it up this time. Why don't we do War Games? Yeah. So we'll see you next time for both NXT TakeOver War Games and Survivor Series 2019. Until then, thanks for watching.